Good evening. Police reported major breaks today in two investigations, the murders of two female college students. Tonight, both campuses remain in mourning. Auburn University in Alabama and the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Michelle Miller has the latest.
They grew up only 80 miles apart in Georgia, but the deaths of 22-year-old Eve Carson and 18-year-old Lauren Burke continue to haunt the nation.
This is our biggest break so far in this case.
At a news conference today, police showed pictures of the suspect in Carson's murder at a drive-up ATM machine and said he may have been driving the University of North Carolina senior's blue 2005 Toyota Highlander. They don't know yet who he is. The Chapel Hill police chief described the murder as a random act of violence. How it unfolded remains unclear.
She was studying at the house when her roommates last saw her, and she may have mentioned something about needing to print off some papers later that night.
Heard gunshots?
3 times.
And you said you heard a female scream?
3 times, yeah.
Carson was found dead in the street in a Tony neighborhood not far from campus. Her car was parked about a mile away. The murder came a day after a strikingly similar shooting in Alabama. Lauren Burke's attacker left the Auburn University freshman for dead on a road 5 miles from her school.
Did you murder Lauren Burke?
But after arresting 23-year-old Courtney Lockhart for murder, kidnapping, and attempted rape, Alabama authorities said the two crimes are not connected. On the UNC campus, thousands mourned Carson, their student body president. And at her former high school in Athens, Georgia, the one-time valedictorian was remembered as someone who always found time for others.
She was beautiful, she was brilliant, and she loved life. She loved people.
Both students will be buried in their hometowns tomorrow. Police in Chapel Hill are hoping that the release of the suspect's photo will speed up an arrest in that case. Jeff?
Michelle.
Killing 2 people. Police arrested Lawrence Lovett early this morning. He's charged with killing UNC's student body president and a graduate student at Duke. We knew police wanted him in Eve Carson's death, but the connection to the Duke student's murder, well, that was a surprise. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. Lawrence Lovett is in custody in Durham right now.
He is the second person charged with killing Eve Carson. Demario Atwater is the other. Durham police are now checking to see if Atwater has a connection to the Duke murder. And WRAL News just confirmed Atwater was due in court on a probation violation 2 days before Eve Carson's murder. That hearing was rescheduled.
The Duke grad student who was killed is 29-year-old Abhijit Mahato. He's from India. He was robbed, shot, and killed in his apartment in January. Our coverage begins tonight with Gerald Owens and today's arrest and charges. Gerald?
Pam, we're told the early morning arrest was textbook. No concussion grenades were needed, no shots were fired. There was no struggle and no injuries. Lawrence Lovett just walked out. He's now being held without bond, as you said, charged with 2 murders.
The arrest went down about 4:15 a.m. Acting on a tip, members of Durham's Selective Enforcement Team surrounded this home on Cook Road. They were certain they'd find the person in the widely circulated ATM photo, the person accused of murdering UNC student body president Eve Carson. Officers threw a telephone through a window of the home, which they used to communicate with the 17-year-old murder suspect. After more than an hour, Lawrence Lovett Jr. agreed to surrender peacefully. In a hooded sweatshirt and his head hung low, he walked away with police officers. His arrest brings to an end an intense manhunt involving several different agencies.
Things are coming. I think get a lot of the hard stuff still ahead.
WRAL caught up with Chapel Hill Police Chief Brian Curran, who offered few words on Lovett's arrest.
You're wrapped up now, you think? I mean, the actual arrest?
Yes.
The arrest warrant for Lovett shows he's also wanted in the January shooting death of Duke graduate student Abhijit Mahato. It says Lovett stole Mahato's cell phone, wallet, and iPod. The value of the merchandise about $300. It also says Lovett threatened Mahato's life. A source tells WRAL that police are still looking to make another arrest in the case.
Durham's police chief, Jose Lopez, says Eve Carson's murder appears to be a random crime. Lawrence Lovett is being held at the Durham County Jail. Demario Atwater is being held at Central Prison. Both are without bond. Pam?
Gerald, thank you.
Gets underway in Lee County, Alabama. News Leader 9's Rosalind Giles joins us live with the latest. Good morning, Rosalind.
Good morning, guys. This case made national news 2 years ago when authorities found 18-year-old Lauren Burke lying in the road near Farmville Baptist Church in Auburn with a gunshot wound. Days later, this man, 25-year-old Courtney Lockhart, you see here dressed in white, was arrested and charged in connection with Burke's death. Police say Lockhart kidnapped Burke, forcing her into her own car at gunpoint. Police found her black 2001 Honda Civic burning in an Auburn parking lot. Lockhart is accused of shooting Burke to death and attempting to rape and rob her. If the jury finds Lockhart guilty, prosecutors will seek the death penalty on 3 counts of capital murder charges. Her sister station, WSFA in Montgomery, recently spoke to Burke's friend, who's still having a hard time dealing with this tragedy.
I kept calling her, and eventually it just went straight to voicemail. And knowing that she was probably with him, and knowing that there was nothing I can do about it.
Now, the defense attorney tried to get the trial moved, saying Lockhart could not get a fair trial due to the media coverage. Lee County Circuit Court Judge Jacob Walker denied the motion, and so did the Alabama Supreme Court. Today's proceedings get underway at 9 o'clock Central Time this morning. Reporting in the WTVM studios, Rosalind Giles, News Leader 9.